Good evening. My name is Rochelle Crump, President and founder of the National Women Veterans United, and thank you for joining us today. This is the Women Veterans Organization. At this time, we want to remind that you can call in a little later. We're going to talk about the National Women Veterans United this evening and our Military Women Veterans Center. We are the only women veterans center in the state of Illinois. And there we have peer-to-peer support, financial literacy workshops, emergency services, case management, a computer lab, a meditation room, book club, and then we have a kitty corner for those who have children. And we have much more things that we do. We are actually working on a lot of different initiatives, and particularly about health initiatives. We are working on breast cancer awareness and prevention because we don't have to wait until October to start talking about preparation for taking care of your health. And taking care of your health is a part of living. And if we choose to live, then we must take care of ourselves. And so tonight we want to talk a little bit about that too. We want to thank Pfizer company for the grants that we've received from them in the past about diabetes, a current one that we will be doing the breast cancer and awareness with, as well as we're looking to do things on arthritis also, because that is a lot of things that people talk about, and that's arthritis in the legs and the arms and such, and it affects quite a bit of people. And so those are some of the initiatives that we have. And then we're working on a Veteran Smile project, and we want to make veterans smile, those who struggle with not having a full set of teeth to eat properly, and also basically so that they can digest their food appropriately. And so we'll be talking about that, not this time, but I do want to mention that because it will be coming up next month, and we're so proud of the fact that we're taking on that program, Veteran Smiles, trying to make veterans smile. And so, as we talk about peer-to-peer support, last month we did peer-to-peer support, and we watched a video, and that video was Serve Like a Girl. And it is a documentary about many of the women who served in the military and who basically had challenges, and not all have challenges, but these particular women had some struggles and some challenges, and then there were others who had some great accomplishments and successes. And so as we look at military women veterans, we know that a lot of times they don't self-identify. A lot of times people don't know that they're veterans, and so they never ask. And also, I wear a little pin, or I wear my scarf on there that says Army Veteran, because I'm a proud Army veteran. And then, a lot of times our license plates tell that story too, and that's why we encourage women veterans, if you don't have a Bronze Star, or you don't get the one that signifies what service campaign you were in, then get the women veterans license plate so they can stop asking you, is that your husband's car, or is that your father's car? I proudly, have that plate, and I have number 1, as a matter of fact. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very protective over it too, because I feel like somebody's going to try to take it. But it's important for me to be identified as a woman veteran. We thank all of those who support military women veterans, as well as our veterans in general. As we embark upon very soon, we'll be coming up for May, and May is, about armed forces, those who are still serving in the armed forces, as well as those who made the ultimate sacrifice. So we want to remind you that May 27th is Memorial Day, and that we encourage you to support the communities that host those ceremonies and programs to acknowledge those who have, done so much for this country and who made the ultimate sacrifice. And so this week, since it is up, we have going on Money Smart. It's never too late to learn financial wellness and more. We're going to talk about insurance. We're going to talk about retirement, savings, investments, VA mortgages, and cash flow. And we're going to have free raffles, and above all, we're going to have some information that's going to go a long way with you, that you'll be able to take with you, and hopefully you will utilize the information that you get. And if you don't use it for yourself, please share it with your family. In particular, let's all share financial wellness and literacy with younger people, because that is the population of people who don't get that information early on. You know, if you go back to my age group, which is the baby boomers, you know, they didn't talk a whole lot about finances. They just took you to the bank and you watched them make deposits, but no one clearly just kept, you know, showing you how to go to the bank and everything. At least for me, I can only speak for me. Later on in life, I learned it, you know, because I had to, because working at 16 and then going off to the military at 17, of course, you know, I got a good head start on learning a lot of more things. And so, you know, it will be on Saturday, this Saturday, April the 20th at 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It's open to the community at our Illinois Community Military Women Veterans Center, located at 7907 South on Racine. Be smart, be money smart, and let's make our kids learn how to save and budget, and to also learn how to grasp wealth and wellness in order to financially move into a retirement eventually, and making sure that they understand what is at stake now with the Social Security Administration and the baby boomers sucking the life out of Social Security benefits, you know, and then learning how to get into the credit union and 401 and 403s, so that they can learn how to save, money market, you know, those type of things. Don't wait until it gets late in life to learn those things. You know, make that a priority. Make it a priority like it is right now, a priority to be able to access different things, that not just that you want, but those things that you genuinely need. And that's what's important, teaching our children about wellness and what's a need and what's a desire. You know, those things that we need, of course, we'd like to have all those things, but we don't have all those things a lot of times because we can't afford to have all those things because of the foolishness that some of them do with the money that they're getting. Now, who's ever heard of, you can't pay your light bills, but you go and buy $300 gym shoes? So, but enough of that, you know, I won't go there. Let's talk about women veterans issues, because women veterans are much more resourceful, and we know that a lot of others are as well, but that's what we need to teach our youth. So, and you can also call in at 312-738-1060. And so, again, we will be hosting that event on Saturday, Money Smart, on the 20th at 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock. Please feel free to come by. I want to give kudos out and a great big shout out to Mary Green, who is the founder and the star, if you will, for the Black Women's Expo. It was excellent. And the National Women Veterans United was invited to participate in it for the day of opening, as well as we were honored on that day to receive one of the Phenomenal Women Awards, and that was just so cool. Oh my goodness, it was great. And all of those who were recipients of the awards, you know, some really, really great women who are doing some very positive things in the community to uplift the community, and those who are also serving in the community, helping people to get well and to learn about wellness. And so, you know, we want always to understand what our benefits are for veterans. There's also, you know, a lot of discounts with T-Mobile. There's discounts now at Kohl's stores and so many others. You know, the Cook County Veterans Recorder of Deeds office with the discount card. And then there's so many more. You know, also let's talk about the Veterans Assistance Commission, where you can get assistance, you know, for if you're an indigent veteran, or you know an indigent veteran, or a veteran who's gotten behind or who is in need of assistance. You know, contact the Veterans Assistance of Cook County so that they can learn what benefits they're entitled to. They are definitely entitled to something if they have an honorable discharge and they've served this country diligently. So, and if they're not eligible, then they should be able to give you some other resources as well. And we always tell people, wherever you go, always mention that you're a veteran, because you'd be surprised at the different things that this city and this county and this state has for you, including the national benefits. So you have the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs also. Right now we have a new director there, former state Representative Linda Chapa-Lavia, who is now head of the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. I think it's a win-win situation with that. A great pick, having the experience in legislative areas that will assist in coming up with new legislation for, veterans in general in the state of Illinois. In particular, we're looking for some things to benefit women veterans. So I think that, it will, again, be a win-win for this state to have someone of that caliber with that experience and expertise to lead the charge of the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. And so, when we look at women veterans, we look at whether or not women veterans are accessing all of their benefits. I don't think that they are, because again, they don't self-identify, they don't necessarily reach out. There's a lot of issues that go on, not just with men, but women also, military sexual trauma, and this is April, it is awareness for sexual assault. And so, we want to walk with those women. We want to let them know that they're not out here alone. There's a lot of violence against women now, and we need to just kind of like start watching out for each other, if you will, and that includes the males in our community. Stand up for us. Make sure that that women are in need. Liberation is one thing, but needs are another thing. And so, it's okay to be liberated, but we still need the guards out there, if you will, and most of us have served, in trying times, me during the Vietnam era where there were racial discrimination and riots and things like that, others in other areas of, merging in with men, and there were perpetrators in the military. They brought that bad behavior into the military, and so, as a result of that, there were some casualties out of that. And so what we say is that, they're not doing enough, really, to handle those situations. There's a lot of discussion about it in Congress, and I have to give them kudos that they're making a promise that they're going to do more and better at that situation. They're putting a lot of pressure on those military leaders to be able to get control of the situation and to eliminate it, But one of the things I don't hear them saying is, there are a lot of arrests or a lot of convictions going on. And then even when they do have those convictions and they discharge them with dishonorable discharge court-martials and things like that, I don't hear where they're putting them into the categories of sexual offenders in the communities in which they live in, and it should be part of that administration to say that when they leave the military, they should be on watch, because again, a lot of them didn't get that behavior there. They brought that behavior into the military. And so it just became a situation where, women and men, because unfortunately that has happened to men also, sexual assault of men as well. And so, we want to make sure that everyone is aware of that we put the pressure and keep the pressure on those in leadership, hold our congressional leaders and our state senators at accountable. We have to make sure that they're accountable, to make sure that the job gets done for what we've hired them to do. We elect them, and when we elect them, we expect that they will do what they need to do for us for our best interest. So you can call in at 312-738-1060. And so it was a great weekend. We spent 4 days with the Black Expo. We had a booth. We want to give a shout out to Teresa Dishman, one of our members, and I like to, give shout outs, and I'll give Letty a shout out too, who's at the phone waiting for you to give us a call at 312-738-1060. Give her a call and let her know that you're watching us. A lot of times people watch and they don't say anything and let us know that they're watching, but we know you're watching. And so, also we want to talk about the VAs. And then we also want to talk about, and I'll go here now, the America's Heroes Group on WVON, streaming out of iHeartRadio on Saturdays with the infamous Cliff Kelly. And so the National Women Veterans United is a part of that now. We're a sponsor, and I serve on that panel, and we'll also be going live on our own 30-minute show, and we'll be talking about those women veterans issues. We'll be talking more about the National Women Veterans United, because part of what we want to do is to make sure, and this is our primary mission, is to make sure that women veterans are aware and are accessing their services, resources, community resources, national, state, county, and city. Lots of information out here, and they're not getting it. And so we had a conversation when we had the peer-to-peer support. And one of the things that one of the veterans said was that I don't think women veterans know exactly what they need. And so, you start thinking about that, and you start thinking about how many come forward, but you always hear about homelessness, you hear about, the military sexual trauma piece, you hear about the post-traumatic stress disorder, and then you look at the small population that do come forward, and we know it's a process for that. It's not easy to come and talk about those things. It's not easy to keep revisiting, those scenarios that, are kind of holding you back as a stronghold. But we also need to know that they have opportunities out here. They need to know that there is support systems out here. And then they need not be afraid, because this is where the people who support you comes into play and can make things happen for you when there's things that you're still struggling or challenged with. And so, we just encourage those women to, not be afraid to come forward, to know that, you got support out here. You got a strong backing out here. The VA is trying to do more, and we also looking at suicide and the increase of it. It's still going on every day. It's also happening in the community. It's happening in the first responders, and we need to let them know too that, quietly they can come to these organizations and they can receive help as well. A lot of times it's that little piece of pride that keeps us from not asking for help that we need. And so, you're more courageous when you do step out and ask for the help that you need, because that is the only way you're going to move forward in life with that baggage, I should say. And so, understand those resources, know them, and then those who don't have it, learn more about what you can do to help. Learn more about the signs of, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's called mental health aid, mental health first aid. And so, they offer that course free a lot of times in the community and, at organizations. And, it's an 8-hour course. Not only will you learn more about it, you'll be surprised at what you learn, And we want to encourage, while I'm talking about that, because we don't have much longer to go, but it is very, very, very important and very, very, very disturbing that we are still struggling with having veterans to get their discharge papers now. Get it now while you can do it on your own. Don't wait until you get sick. Don't wait until, you have to put that burden on your family to try to figure out how to get a discharge paper. Please, if you need help with that, contact us at 773-895-8015. Actually, that's my number, and I just gave it to everybody. But contact us. It doesn't matter, because I want to make sure that you know to get it. We have a caller. Caller, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
I can barely hear you. Can you speak up a little louder?
Yes. Where could you get that certification? What organizations, or where can I get that mental health aid, the 8-award class?
The system is having some challenges today, and I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. But I will say I'm going to give you our information again, because I can recognize a female voice, And I'm not sure if this is pertaining to either a comment or you need some assistance with something that we can help you with. If you could take down this number of 872-731-2150. That is the National Women Veterans United, whom I represent, and I promise you I can get back with you at that number tomorrow or either later on today if it's not too late. And I can answer your question at that time, or if it is a shout out that you want to do, I can take it and I'll make sure that I get it back here the next month. So, and I do apologize that I can't hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And again, that number is 872-731-2150, or look us up, National Women Veterans United. And the website address is www.nwvu.org. Okay? And thank you. I look forward to talking with you. And so we have about 60-something members. We also have a Rockford chapter. We're very close to our 100 mark for our women veterans. We have 14 years of advocacy. We just had an anniversary, making it 14 years, in our 15th year. You know, we want to make sure that hopefully we'll be in our new facility. We're still looking for a new facility. We have a lot of things going on. Again, we're getting ready to start our dance fitness next week. Well, I'll get that information. It'll be on our website also. We also have a quilt program, project that we're working on. We're going to be making quilts and also pillows for military women veteran cancer survivors and their families. So I'm really excited about that also. And then we'll be going back to Zuma and our book club. We had the pleasure of meeting Christine Houston. If you're familiar with the show 227, it was a sitcom. She's an Air Force veteran, and she actually was the founder of that show. It was about her life. We had a privilege of meeting her, and we're going to be working her with her book. She's an author as well. So we look forward to doing all of those things, and they shall appear on our website by the end of this month. We also want to give a shout out to the Trinka Davis Foundation, who is our support system, and also the America's Heroes Group. So we want to talk more about that and just remind you again about the discharge, DD 214. If you have a veteran in your household, please help him or her find that DD 214. That's the military discharge paper. Very, very important that you have it to utilize for hospitalization, also to use it for burial or anything like that. So I'm going to end right at that. We want to thank everyone for watching Veterans Issues. Have a great holiday. And we hope to see you next month so that we can tell you about all the Memorial Day programs that are coming your way. Have a good night.